This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
There we go. There we go. Come on. Let's do it. Yes. Hello, Halo Nation. I'm fired up. I'm fired up. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent not one, not two, not three, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, writing articles, conducting interviews, sitting in press conferences, hosting podcasts, all that good stuff with the Daily Bruin, covering UCLA sports, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and it feels good to say that tonight. A huge 5-4 win back at the Big A, and oh, how sweet it is. It comes in the series opener against those darn Seattle Mariners. A very, very good game for our team. Obviously, a close game. Not everything was perfect. Kyle Hendricks did not have his stuff tonight, but just outside of that, just about every other box was checked tonight. The lineup did enough, especially in big moments. The bullpen certainly got the job done, and a couple of unsung heroes getting it done for the Angels. Before we talk all about that, shout out to everybody in here, a lot of the familiar faces, whether it's Vinny or Larry or Angels Win or Nathan or Christopher or Tom or Jeff or, Scott. I'm seeing Angel Antonius. I'm seeing some new names in the comment section as well. Shout out to all of you for making this the place to be after every single Angels game. And so let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. It's not a turning point today. We've got a unique segment.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's the first ever dual Locked On Player of the Game. I'm giving it to two people. Because if you are a returner, a regular on this show, you know how darn critical I have been, how much of a hater, a grumpy, grouchy sounding bastard that I am when it comes to Chris Taylor and Travis d'Arnaud. You know how critical I've been of the acquisition of Chris Taylor and about the lineup placement of d'Arnaud when he plays, right? I have been saying, why in the heck is d'Arnaud ever hitting above, 8th in the lineup? And then for the last 2 weeks, I've been saying, why in the heck is Chris Taylor a Los Angeles Angel? But tonight, I have shame, all right? I'm not going to sit here and act like this didn't happen, right? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to celebrate it. I'm a fan of the team. Whether or not I think they should be in the lineup where they are, whether or not I think Chris Taylor should be on the roster in general, it doesn't matter. When they come through, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them their credit. And Travis d'Arnaud and Chris Taylor, if you haven't told, you're not able to tell by now, they are your two players of the game because they were huge. They were absolutely huge in this one. The only two players in the lineup tonight to get 2 hits. The Angels put up 5 runs, which is, still a pretty good number for them. They don't typically do that, right? But they put up 5 runs on just 8 hits. And d'Arnaud and Chris Taylor, the only two with a pair of hits in this ball game, right? There weren't that many players who had awful games, right? I mean, we did get an 0 for 4 from Trout with the strikeout. We did get an 0 for 3 with the walk, but a strikeout from Ward, right? And Rengifo was 0 for 3 with the strikeout as well. But those aren't great performances, obviously. But the lineup was average, and these two guys were phenomenal, right? Chris Taylor could have had a perfect game, right? He ends up going 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs, which still would be a great performance, right? He had a double, he had an RBI, but oh, by the way, he was robbed by Julio Rodriguez of a 2-run shot that would have made it 7-4 Angels, right? And so again, I'm not going to be a guy who's lazy and just looks at the box score or just looks at the result of the play. I'm going to use context and say, In terms of hitting the ball hard and doing what you're supposed to do as a major league hitter, Chris Taylor had 3 hits tonight. He had 2 extra base hits tonight, and he really had 4 RBIs tonight. That was a 2-run shot, right? And so, yes, Tom, I'm not here saying that Chris Taylor is amazing or something. Trust me, I've been the most critical of this guy, right? But at the very least, if you are going to be on this roster, you better at least once in a while have a game like this. We know that Chris Taylor has proven he's not going to consistently go 1 for 3 every game, right? So if you're going to go 0 for 12, like he basically did, you might as well have a game like tonight where you go 2 for 3 with an RBI, a double. You had 2 runs. It should have been a 2-run shot in addition to that. Got to give him his credit. And then Travis d'Arnaud with arguably the biggest swing of the ball game, hitting the home run in the 4th inning, his second as a Halo, to, get a huge run for the Angels. At this point, it was a tight game. All 9 runs in this game coming in a 3-inning cluster, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. But without d'Arnaud and Chris Taylor, the Angels do not win this game in what is a very important win for the Angels. I mean, we're not looking at the AL West standings in terms of, can the Angels win the division and make the playoffs? We're not doing any of that. But just in terms of this team, I always say it. There's not many occasions where the Angels get to play baseball games that have the intensity and the feel and the pressure of being anything close to a playoff game or just an important game, right? Since I've started doing the postcast, and really in the last handful of years, how many times do the Angels play a baseball game and you go, this game feels like it matters? Not very often, right? We got to see it a little bit earlier in this season in the Dodgers series, and they actually came through, right? That's a rivalry. It's a different context, but still, they came through. And this is really one of those only other examples. You're playing a home series against the Mariners when you're right around them in the standings. It's still early. It still doesn't really mean anything for the long term. But I don't know about you. I came into the series feeling like this kind of matters. It feels like an important couple of games for us, especially with the A's after that. Good opportunity to get some wins in the division, maybe get back to having a winning record or close to it, and just more so having the intensity, the excitement, the pressure of an important game. And a Friday night at the Big A with the Mariners in town, it felt like that. And so that's why it feels good that the Angels, for once, were able to win a game like that. And you got to give credit to Chris Taylor and Travis d'Arnaud for being the people that helped us get this win, right? Helped us get this win. And like, I'm going to try to say his name, Ty Boberino. Exactly. The Angels have been terrible at home. They've been terrible. So finally you get a win in a game that feels important at home. And not on a crazy walk-off, not in a game where you're up 8-0 and almost lose it, like we had at Fenway Park. Not a game where you do nothing the whole game and then you just have a miracle happen in the 9th inning. This felt like a normal, close, nail-biter ball game, and everyone came through when they needed to. We haven't had many games like that. We really have not had many games that have been close, back and forth, but not chaotic, right? Whenever we have a close game, it feels like it's one where nothing makes sense, right? But for once, we had a game where things made sense. There was still a Julio Rodriguez robbing at the wall. There was Jorge Soler making a play in right field at the wall that could have been a grand slam. But there was still weird stuff. The Mariners made an error. Chris Taylor could have gotten tagged at home if it wasn't for Cal Raleigh messing that up. There was still plenty. It's never going to be an Angels game without weird stuff. But it felt like a normal, good baseball game between 2 decent teams in the division on a Friday night at the Big A. And the Angels don't win that game very often. So it feels really good that they did. And you got to give credit to Chris Taylor and Travis d'Arnaud in the 6th spot and the 9th spot in the lineup for being the guys who got the job done. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we'll talk about the pitching. Kyle Hendricks was not great, but he was helped out by his bullpen, including one guy we've been watching very, very closely in that bullpen. We'll talk about those guys. We'll look forward to the rest of the series. An opportunity for the Angels to win a huge series against the Mariners now. We'll talk about that after our break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Now, on this Friday night, one of the rare sponsors here, today's show is brought to you by Trade Coffee. I love it. It's nice to change it up every once in a while. Let's be real. Coffee, it isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, the thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if it's that essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. Personally, I wasn't a huge coffee guy. In fact, I did not like coffee through college. I graduated college last June, almost a full year ago now. But when you get a 9-to-5 job for the first time in your life, you discover coffee, right? And so fortunately for me, I was right away introduced to trade. I took the trades quiz. It only took a minute. And the first bag they sent me, it was spot on. I got lucky, right? To go from not liking coffee to after one quiz, instantly finding the right fit on the first try, amazing. The coffee was fresh. It smelled great. And honestly, it ruined grocery store coffee for me in the best way. But here's the good news. If the first match isn't perfect like it was for me, Trade will replace it for free until they get it just right. So right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. One more time, it's drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. I don't know about you, but the NBA playoffs, obviously it's the finals. I don't know about you. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings last night watching that incredible game one of the NBA Finals. But the playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances. Just ask Tyrese Halliburton, right? Major momentum shifts and can't miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. And FanDuel, it makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. I've used FanDuel whenever I've been in states where it is legal to bet. I know it's not here, but when I was in other states, FanDuel, it is the best. So if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Back here live on a victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Angels 5, Mariners 4. It feels very, very good. And kind of like what we saw last night, right? Angels win. What the Halliburton? The Angels pick up a win at home. It's a miracle. What the Hallie? Huge win. I mean, we've got people like Wine Time Sports saying this is the biggest win of the year. I don't know about that, but it definitely was a huge win for the Angels. One of the biggest wins of the season. The Angels very rarely show up at home. We know how much they've struggled at home this season, but especially very rarely do they have a game like tonight where it felt like an important game, and they came through, right? And they came through largely because of the two guys we talked about in the first segment, but also because of the bullpen. Because let's be honest, Kyle Hendricks did not have a performance worthy of a win, right? It wasn't worthy of a loss, but it wasn't worthy of a win either. 6 innings, he gives up 8 hits and 2 walks, only strikes out 2. But fortunately, he does not give up a home run. There's a bases-loaded ball hit deep to right field that Jorge Soler catches that could have been a grand slam. But because it was not, it ends up being just 4 earned runs for Kyle Hendricks in 6 innings. Was able to eat up enough innings in an average performance and get some help from his offense so that the bullpen could do its thing, and they did its thing. Ryan Zefferjon comes in the 7th inning, and he was phenomenal. 1, 2, 3 inning. Then Reed Detmers comes in, and it's never 1, 2, 3 with Reed Detmers, although he did just do that in a save, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But it feels like there's always something to talk about with Reed Detmers, just like there's always something to talk about with Kenley Jansen. But fortunately, both of them came through. Reed Detmers, he gets 2 strikeouts despite the walk, and then Kenley Jansen comes in and has a 1, 2, 3 ninth, including a strikeout. And like Eric says here, Detmers is starting to find it in the bullpen. And I know there's people clamoring for Detmers to not be in the bullpen and to be in the rotation. And I get it. It's not like Kyle Hendricks was great tonight. It's not like Kohanowitz has been great this year. It's not like, in all honesty, it's not like Soriano's even been lights out, right? But at the end of the day, I think Detmers, he's in the right spot, okay? He's in the right spot where he's coming in. It's not like he's always having 1, 2, 3 innings where you can have confidence that he can give you 5-inning, 6-inning starts without a bunch of hiccups, right? Right now, he's finding his groove. He doesn't need to have 5 pitches working in order to get through an inning as a reliever. And that's the point. That's why I think he's in the right spot right now. Has Reed Detmers shown you that he can consistently throw 5 pitches? No. But has he shown you that when he's on a good day, he can be one of the rare relievers that does have a lot of pitches available to him. Yes, he can drop in that slow curveball and keep you on your toes, then throw a fastball at your face and have you swing and miss, right? And so there's not many relievers that can do that. I think he's starting to become an above average arm out of the bullpen, and there's still plenty of time before we need to talk about him being a starter. But the moral of the story is he's getting the job done where he is. I thought Zephyr John was very impressive tonight as well. I know everyone's going to talk about Detmers, and rightfully so, but Zephyr John deserves his credit. He was very impressive. He has 10 holds on the season, and Kenley Jansen picks up save number 13 in the win. We'll quickly talk about the lineup one more time. Zach Neto goes 1 for 4 with an RBI. Nolan Schanuel, I forgot to mention his huge RBI swing. Him and Neto both had big RBI swings. Schanuel's was very impressive. Gets a hanging curveball, rips it to right field. So good to see that. So good to see both Neto and Schanuel hitting over 270 now. They both have OPSs over 750, with Schanuel at 757 and Neto all the way at 818. Trout, he does not have a hit tonight, but it's okay. He's been red hot. Still feeling good about him. Taylor Ward, one of those Taylor Ward games. It's okay. And Jorge Soler, he gets a base hit. He actually makes a good play on the field. I don't think there was anybody who just had a flat-out horrible game. I mean, Joe Adell did have a missed play in center field. That was very frustrating, especially seeing the contrast to what Julio Rodriguez did at the wall in center field on his, difficult play situation, whereas Joe Adell completely botched his to go along with an 0 for 2. But he did have a run. And, of course, Chris Taylor and Travis d'Arnaud, they did their thing. Now, Angels have a great opportunity now. You got 2 more against the Mariners before a 3-game set at home against the A's. And I was talking to my coworker yesterday at work, the fellow Angels fan, and I said, of this 6, give me 4. I want to go 4-2 in this 6-game stretch. And I would love for it to be 2-3 against the Mariners, 2-3 against the A's, because it means you pick up back-to-back series wins. And so right now, we're right on track. Right now, the Angels just have to win one of their next 2 against the Mariners to win the series, of course. You got another game tomorrow night, and then Sunday will be 1 p.m. first pitch. In terms of predictions, people asking me what to think about. Oh, and that's a good reminder there from Tom. Do not forget to vote for your Halos in the All-Star voting. And that's true. Real Marco Polo reminding me we do need to talk about that Julio Rodriguez pump fake in center field. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to surprise you or not, but as someone who likes when baseball is interesting, I think I'm going to get killed for this. I didn't really mind it. I'll be honest. I thought it was kind of entertaining. I'm sorry. I was pissed off at the play, of course. And of course, I was pissed off when he did it in the moment, but I'm not so pissed off to then innings and days later say I hate Julio Rodriguez or something. I'm just going to say, oh, it's some showmanship. If my guy did it, I would love it, right? And so that's what sports are supposed to be, right? When Halliburton hits a 3 on the Knicks and goes like this, Knicks fans are supposed to hate it even more than they would have if he just made the shot. And Pacers fans and neutrals are supposed to love it even more, right? And so that's how I feel about the play. If that was Joe Adell doing it, I would say, aura, wow, he's him. Because it happened against us, I said, dang, I'm pissed off. But like Ty Bobarino says here, I just hate him because he's good, right? And that's what sports are supposed to be. Elon in here saying, love personality in the game. That's what I think. That's what I think as well. But it was annoying. Real Marco Polo, I'm not disagreeing with you. It is annoying. Going against it, it infuriates you. But that's what sports are, right? That's what they are. Vinny's asking me to have a prediction on who is going to do well in tomorrow's game. Interesting. I know what you would like to say. And yes, Larry is right. Come on, everyone, smash that like button. Would greatly, greatly appreciate that. I know what Vinny wants me to say in terms of who is going to do well, with Mike Trout being his guy. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I'm ready for another big Zach Neto game. I don't know why. He's been solid. He's been certainly great doing his thing. But I'm feeling a 2 extra base hit game from Vinny says, my glorious king, Mike. Yes, we certainly would love a Mike Trout game, but I'm feeling Zach Neto tomorrow night. I think Zach Neto is going to have a big game tomorrow night. I'm calling 2 extra base hits for Zach Neto. It's a tough matchup against Castillo, who always plays well against the Angels, it feels like, having another solid year, 4-3 with a 3.03 ERA. We know he gets no run support. But it's going to be a tough one for the Angels. I mean, they obviously have the pitching advantage. Castillo going against Kowanowitz. it's going to be a low-scoring game, I think. It's kind of typically what you would expect from Angels Mariners, and we'll see. It might come down to one or two guys hitting a home run, right? When they got guys like Kyle Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, we've got guys like Mike Trout and Joe Adell, guys that are kind of home run or bust guys, Taylor Ward, Jorge Soler. I feel like it's going to be one of those games where no one really does anything special, and maybe one guy on either side comes through with the big home run. That's going to be my prediction. I'm hoping it's Zach Neto, since I called it. I'm hoping it's any Angel, of course. But if I had to guess, I want to say tomorrow's probably the game the Angels lose, and I think they pick up a day game win on Sunday to clinch the series. I hope I'm wrong. I think it'll be close. It's always close when it comes to the Angels and the Mariners, always low-scoring games. But right here, we say, Steve Rivera says he calls a Trout bomb, and Nathan says, I say Trout homer. Hey, I wouldn't be mad at it one bit. I'm going to go on a limb and say Neto tomorrow, Trout homer on Sunday, but I wouldn't be mad with that prediction. All right, have a great rest of your Friday night, everybody. We're going to wrap this one up. Love that the Angels were able to win this game. A huge, huge win. It feels great. The Angels, I mean, once again, I don't want to talk too much about the standings, but you're only 3 games back of the Mariners now. So dare I say, you pick up 2 wins tomorrow and Sunday, you're right there on the Mariners' tail, and that would feel real, real good. But have a great rest of your Friday night, everybody. Oh, the weekend feels so much better coming into the weekend after an Angels win. So celebrate tonight. We'll be back here tomorrow night, and of course, we'll be back here Sunday afternoon as well. Halos 5, Mariners 4, series opening win against the Mariners on Friday night at the Big A. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Oh, and I have to say real quick, I'm repping a shirt. I went home to the Bay. My dad pulled out this shirt. Obviously, grew up in a Giants household, and so I've got this shirt here. Pretty cool. World Series 2002 Giants Angels shirt. Pretty sick. Repping it tonight. I'm going to say that's part of the reason we won tonight. I might wear it during the game tomorrow, see if it becomes good luck or something like that. I would certainly take it. But someone says, haha, screw Dusty Baker. But yes, repping the shirt. Have a great Friday night, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Go Angels, baby. Take care.